Okay, now going into third down. Third down here, we got Walter Camp first and second team. So Walter Camp, for those of you who don't know, it's a website. So Walter Camp announced their first and second team preseason All Americans for college football, and I have the list here. Let's just go through a few of them. Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, so LSU and Alabama respectively, are first team All-American preseason All-American receivers. No surprise there. I think Devontae Smith is going to climb the ranks when it comes to the top two receivers. That was Jamar Chase and then Justin Ross, who was at Clemson. We talked about him last week, having a season-ending surgery, so he will be out for the whole season. Both of them take first-team honors when it comes to that. And they highlight this class along with Trevor Lawrence and Chuba Hubbard from Oklahoma State, the running back. We'll get into him a little bit later in the victory formation section. But Chuba Hubbard from Oklahoma State and Travis Etienne from Clemson are the preseason first team All-Americans respectively. Going into here, we have a few sophomores here. Chuba Hubbard, obviously sophomore, and then you also have Kayvon Thibodeau, the defensive end from Oregon, the number one player coming out of California a couple years ago. He's preseason first team, so I'm curious to see how he does this year in the Pac-12. Last year he was solid, but I want to see him take that next step. I think if he is able to take that next step and continue that, he is likely to be somewhere near the first overall pick, top 3 for sure, in 2022. So his draft class when he's a junior, he'll be coming out. And then obviously Derek Stingley, probably the best defensive back in college football last year as a true freshman. Insane. So that's definitely insane. Derek Stingley is an absolute beast. And for those of you that don't know, man, LSU just got DBs. They have returning DBs that are going back, and they also got 2 top cornerbacks out of high school this year. I mean, just insane. Elias Ricks I believe, is a number 2 cornerback coming out of high school. He'll be going to LSU as well. Curious to see if he's able to get playing time and start opposite of Derek Stingley. Derek Stingley, I am curious to see what he does now that he is the number 1 corner and will be essentially playing that number 1 side going against the top guys. Now, he was going against top guys last year. He got torched pretty frequently by Devontae Smith, and I believe that was the only person that really got him. I think he did solid against CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb had a big game against LSU, but I do not believe that was against Derek Stingley. And then Rondale Moore is actually the kick returner, so preseason first team All-American kick returner. Rondale Moore, wide receiver from Purdue. And let's see if we have any other ones. So I'm curious as to why Justin Ross wasn't on first team or second team preseason All-American. They pretty much left him out, which is insane. Justin Fields is also on the second team. Justin Fields has an opportunity to be the number 1 overall pick next year. I doubt it, but he has potential to be the number 1 overall pick. Depending on who has the number 1 overall pick, there are certain offenses that are geared better for Justin Fields. Not to say that he is, far more athletic than Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor Lawrence could also run as well. He is Trevor Lawrence is a monster. So, Justin Fields, again, I'm very high on Justin Fields, and I like Justin Fields. I think he's going to lead Ohio State back to the playoffs again this year. Second team as well, you have Najee Harris, from the running back from Alabama. He's going to be a stud, likely to be a first rounder this upcoming year. He probably could have came out and been a second round pick in the 2020 NFL draft, but decided to go back. I think it was a good move because he has potential, again, to be a first round pick in this upcoming draft if he has a big year. Dylan Moses, who missed all of last year for Alabama, the linebacker, second team here. Interesting move. I know there was a lot of hype behind him. He's the number one linebacker coming out of high school. I believe he went to IMG Academy in Florida. Went to Alabama, was solid. Obviously, he was playing behind Mack Wilson and a couple other guys, but tore his ACL last year during the summer and missed the whole season. And now he's second team, preseason All-American. So he needs to live up to the billing. Similar to Najee Harris, Dylan Moses could have came out this year and probably been a day 2 pick for sure, but decided to go back because if he has a breakout year that we know he potentially could have coming back from injury, he will be a first-round pick and maybe the first linebacker drafted this year. Patrick Surtain from Alabama, I'm not too high on him. Interesting that he's second team. Shaun Wade's a monster from Ohio State. Jalen Waddle's a kick returner, second team preseason All-American kick returner. Jalen Waddle, the other wide receiver from Alabama, likely to be a first-round pick as well. So, I mean, I don't love the Walter Camp first and second team preseason All-American list, but I could see what they were doing. I mean, it's not horrible. I just don't love it. So, maybe for my next podcast next week, I'll put together my first team. I'll probably skip on the second team, but I'll put it together my first team preseason All-Americans for college football. And we'll see how that compares to this Walter Camp one after the season, hopefully if there is a season. So let me know what you guys think about the Walter Camp first and second team preseason All-American list. Let me know in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more fire sports takes. And for those of you who are on the go, make sure you subscribe to our full show, which airs every Thursday on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and a bunch more. Until then, I'm chucking it up, and I'll see you guys next time.